Well, geesh, I'm glad it didn't turn out to be Troll 2. You know, like troll, singular, not trolls. You should look it up. But for the love of all that is holy, don't watch it. Trolls World Tour. So Trolls World Tour is written by the movie's called Trolls World Tour. It only takes one monkey to screw in a light bulb. It doesn't take 5 writers to write a movie based on those little terrors that you find at the bottom of your toy bin. Now, I imagine that not all the writers were proactively involved in the writing process. Just, you know, an idea here and there. I got it. The Glitter Dude has a baby. It's directed by Walt Dorn, and it was co-directed by David P. Smith. It stars Anna Kendrick, Justin Timberlake, Rachel Bloom, James Corden, Ron Funches, and Sam Rockwell. So Trolls World Tour is important, I guess, because it is the first ever theater release to not launch in theaters, but on streaming services, due to certain circumstances. Crazy. And parents, you should thank the studio gods for this, because you don't want to be stuck in a theater with a bunch of screaming mini trolls. Now, I actually really liked the first Trolls movie. It had a compelling story, it had heart, and it had songs. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this being the first movie to go straight to streaming. It's not bad, it's just weird and not as monumental as I would have expected it to be. No big deal to me, though. I love theaters. Theaters are hurting, and we're not going to let some movies steal the limelight. But maybe, just maybe, it's not just some movie. Characters. All of the original trolls are back. Poppy is now queen of the troll village, and now anger management has come along to steal the 6 strings of the musical kingdoms. Basically like the infinity stones of music. There's funk, country, techno, classical, pop, rockstar. A moment of silence for dubstep and screamo. So Poppy, I spelled it poopy in here. So anyways, Poppy, Branch, and Biggie now have to stop the little Pip symphony. A mistake that this movie successfully evaded was taking our characters and reverting them back to the beginning of the first movie, where the sequel ends up sounding like a broken record. But no, the characters still have some growing to do in this movie, and it's done pretty well. I mean, admittedly, Poppy is, you know, a little naive at times, and Branch isn't nearly as entertaining as a go-lucky troll, but things could have gone way, way southward, especially with Miss Strike Accord. If you're already sick of these, then just skip to the rating. When I got my first look at the villain and sound, I was like, yeah, she just wasn't that entertaining when she was trying so hard to be entertaining. I couldn't really get behind her, other than I understand that when it comes to music, perception is reality. Everybody thinks that their kind of music is the best. She wants rock to be the one and only that unites the kingdoms under one note. She just has an obnoxious personality that honestly didn't get annoying with time. Yeah, at some point I was like, I can ignore you. But it still isn't a very good thing that you can easily ignore your villain. I mean, come on. We've learned, at least her dad, played by Ozzy Osbourne, is freaking fantastic. And also Biggie is hilarious. In fact, James Corden is pretty much hilarious in everything. And hey, Justin Timberlake does not play a forgettable, boring, annoying character in an animated movie. I'm just so happy for you. Animation. The animation is freaking great. I have to point out that they did some pretty artsy stuff with some of the more psychedelic scenes, such as with the jazz leader and the techno kingdom. I mean, this thing moves through a lot of stuff. I mean, I have ADD, and even I was having a tough time keeping up with it. Dialogue. Yeah, the dialogue isn't that impressive. Cringy, even, at times. And I suppose the music could be part of this section, but, you know, those are written by other people. Except for the last song. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Just Sing is an original song for this movie. And although it's not a great song, it's been growing on me. It was pretty awesome in combination with the ending and the animation and the overall spirit of the movie. I was feeling it, so kudos there. Story. A lot of critics have been griping about this. I don't know, I thought it was pretty good. Could have used some meat in some places, but as stories go about that creepy toy that you never played with, I can't complain. In fact, after maybe a little less than rocky start, I actually had fun during this movie. I liked seeing the different music kingdoms and having this overarching idea that in music, it's very important to be eclectic. It was kind of illuminating, actually. I can't stand country, and even if it was just a little bit, the movie did open my mind. So I was learning and having fun at the same time. It was like Math Blaster all over again. The movie's also pretty funny. It didn't start out that way, but after a couple of good laughs, I was on board. The Pinky Promise might be the best part of the movie. And it is real.
Predictability.
Well, I didn't expect rock to turn people into zombies. Makes sense why I don't like both of those. But overall, this movie's pretty predictable. I mean, it does have a little twist here and there, but it's inconsequential enough that you're less like, no way! And you're more like,
Moral.
Okay, I think this might be where the weight of the movie is. I mean, you gotta give them credit for at least trying to hit some pretty deep themes. Racism. They tackle racism pretty explicitly, which is pretty tough to do these days. Another thing that I really appreciate is that it takes a shot at history books about how, history is written by the victors. I can't really think of another animated movie that's done that. Not directly, at least. Well, frickin' done. Now, just to be clear, the movie is not pretentious about its messages. I didn't come out of this movie saying, oh, I guess you can't really come out of a movie that's at home, but... But anyways, I didn't finish this movie thinking, oh, it was just an hour and a half long political statement. It was clear yet subtle about its messages, yet competent and fun about its story. It's a pretty simple movie as they come, guys, and that's not a bad thing, which brings me to my last point. Critics don't care too much for this movie, and I'll give them this. The movie is a little cringeworthy at times, and it's not as good as the first one, but honestly, I think that we're a little spoiled when it comes to animated movies. I mean, there are so many of them, and how they differ from other movies is, despite them being churned out like they're on an assembly line, there's only a handful of them that are objectively bad. So can we really complain about this movie because it was just good? I mean, I'll do my job and say that this movie could have been better. I mean, it set its own bar with the first movie, which had more heart, laughs, and a more fleshed out story. I mean, where's Cloud? He's easily the best part of the first movie. That one I call poor shame. But in the end, this just isn't a bad movie. I'm putting Trolls World Tour at number 175. I should maybe do like a top 10 movies to watch during quarantine. You guys think I should do that? Let me know in the comments below. So should you watch this movie? Absolutely. The messages may be worth how many songs you're gonna hate by the end of next summer. Guys, I am trying my very, very best to pump out the best possible material for you, my subscribers, and other viewers. And I want even more people to see it. So please, 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 don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell on the side. And I will see even more of you next time on MovieSlayer.
Boom, 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 boom.